Alrighty, what's good, people? It's your boy Crimson slash Ross here, back with another Duel Links video. And in this video we are back with the newest event. It is a raid battle. That's why I'm on Yusei here, because he's really good in this event. And yeah, if you guys have been out of the loop in Duel Links, we currently have the Zone raid duel. And if you haven't seen 5Ds, spoiler alert, Zone pictured to the bottom left of your screen, Ghost Girl's friend, not really, but he is the final boss of 5Ds, and he uses Time Lords. Very fun control deck. I can't wait to make it. I'll have a stream over it, probably. But yeah, we have a roaming event, we have Time Lords coming soon, probably in a mini box fight to guess. But yeah, in this video we're gonna be going over the basically everything. Basically, we're gonna be going over all the leaked skills for Zone, like what we have. And yeah, let's dive right into it. And before I get into it, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to drop a like. Drop a sub if you're new, it really helps out the channel. I'm trying to grow this channel over time. Follow on Twitch if you haven't already. Join the Discord, everything is in the description below. And yeah, let's just dive right into it. So Zone, Time Lords. So starting from the top, we have his level up rewards. Starting with Matean, the Time Lord. So all Time Lords have the effect where they can't be destroyed in battle or card effects, and they shuffle themselves back into the deck during your next standby phase after they are summoned. But they each do a different effect depending on what they did in battle, or depending on what they have. So yeah, let's get started here. So starting off at the top, we have Matean, the Time Lord. So this one returns basically all your opponent's monsters, or not your opponent's, it returns as many monsters on the field as possible to the hand, and it inflicts 300 damage to your opponent for each card returned. So very good for clearing the field for Matean. Next we have a Zaphian, the Time Lord. So what Zaphian does, she shuffles all spells and traps your opponent controls back into the deck. So very good for removing problematic back row if your opponent doesn't activate them. Raphian, the Time Lord. This one inflicts damage to your opponent equal to the attack of one monster they control that battled this card. So it's kind of like a decent finisher. And lastly, for Zone's level up rewards, we have a Camion, the Time Lord. And what he does is he shuffles one card your opponent controls into the deck and inflicts 500 damage to your opponent after that card is shuffled. So it's a very good form of removal for a Camion. And we also have, and that's it for Zone's level up rewards. Very good. Obviously Time Lord stuff. I'm excited to build the deck. So yeah, we also have some old cards coming, like Burden of the Mighty. This card used to be really annoying. I'm not sure if it'll get much play because it doesn't work on Leak monsters, but we'll see. Yeah. I don't really care too much about the Orcus stuff. Like y'all can look over them if you want. I'm just gonna go through these real quick. Shooting Quasar Dragon, that's really interesting. I wonder if we'll be getting this in the mini box. I don't know, it is kind of strong. It's really hard to bring out though. I'd like to see this coming. Probably give it an animation too, that'd be sick. Um, okay, another Time Lord. This is Zone's ace, Cephalon, the ultimate Time Lord. And he is able to special summon himself from your hand by having 10 or more monsters in your graveyard. Once per turn, you can special summon a Time Lord from your hand or graveyard, but its effects are negated and its attack becomes 4,000. Very good for bringing out a good 4,000 attack beater if you need it. Time Maiden, short and sweet. She's the searcher of the deck. I kind of expected Time Maiden to be ultra rare, but it's kind of weird. Because this is definitely a 3 of. But I mean, super rare works too if it's gonna be a mini box, so it makes sense. Because I mean, obviously it's like the searcher, so you need 3 of it. Okay, moving on. Next we have Gabrian. This one shuffles as many cards your opponent controls as possible into their deck. Then your opponent will draw cards equal to the number of cards shuffled into their deck. So if your opponent has like a full board, you can just, use Gabrian, make them shuffle everything back to the deck, and be done with it. Okay, Lazian. This one shuffles cards from your opponent's graveyard into the deck, so very good counter against Phantom Knights if they have like a full graveyard, or Burning Abyss. So like if they have like a Farfa or something in the graveyard, you can just shuffle it back. If they have a Seer, you can shuffle it back. If they have like, I don't know, Dante, just shuffle it back. Easy. And we also have the 3 trap cards that are Time Lord based. We got the Infinite Machine, the Empty Machine, and the Infinite Light. But before I go into those, we'll be going into the final 2 Time Lords I see here. We have Sadian, the Time Lord. This one, if it battled and your life points are less than 4,000, your life points become 4,000. So it essentially heals you for all your life points back. This one right here. And lastly, there's Halen, the Time Lord. This one says if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference. Short and sweet. And I'm not going to go too in depth on these. Like these are, Empty Machine, Infinite Machine, Infinite Light. These are like normal and rare. You'll get a lot of these, trust me. If you go into the Time Lord box, we have some Orca stuff. We might get those in the box. I'm happy to see Gordian not coming. Very good Chronomaly card. It's a very good XC starter. So yeah, I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. Hopefully we get it in the box. And yeah, next we can dive into Zone's skills. So, starting things off, first we have Emptiness transforms into the Infinite. This one, I'm guessing this one is a starter skill because it adds as ace to your deck, the Cephalon. In addition, this can be used twice per duel. It can send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard and sends a random number of Time Lords to your graveyard from your deck. Interesting. I'm not sure if you want to do that. But I guess we'll see. It's kind of like a starter skill, so I don't expect it to be that good, but we'll see if it gets any play. It's pretty average skill. Maybe you'll use it if you don't have a Cephalon. Until you pull it from the box, of course. But yeah, moving on. Born from the Infinite. This one, this skill, it sends a Time Lord from to the graveyard, then it adds a Time Lord with the same attribute, but different from the monsters in your graveyard to your hand. So it adds a Time Lord that is different attribute than what's in your graveyard. So a very good searcher if the duel started, but as the duel progresses, this skill is not that great. Good skill if you don't have a Time Maiden. Okay, this skill is good. It says empty, infinite, and infinite light. Each of these effects can be used once per duel. You get to send one card from your hand to the graveyard and set empty machine from outside your deck. An empty machine, it says the first time this card would be destroyed, it's not destroyed. So they would have to use 2 MSTs to destroy it or use Cosmic Cyclone just to get rid of empty machine. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. You can discard a level 10 monster, which is going to be one of your Time Lords, as they are all level 10. And if you do, you get to draw a card. And if Empty Machine is the only card in your back row zone, you get to target a Time Lord in your graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck, and then you can set an Infinite Machine directly from your hand or deck. So you can upgrade this into Infinite Machine if you choose to. An Infinite Machine, you can activate it by sending Empty Machine to your graveyard. And obviously this can't be destroyed by card effects once per turn, and Infinite Machine says during the main phase, so you can use it on your opponent's main phase as well, you get to special summon a Time Lord from your hand. Then you can also, and if you choose not to activate that effect, Infinite Machine also lets you activate its other effect. You can target a Time Lord in your graveyard, shuffle it back into your deck, and then you can set Infinite Light. And Infinite Light basically activates by sending its previous trap, Infinite Machine, to the graveyard. This can't be destroyed by card effects, but it can be banished, so it's a good target for Cosmic Cyclone. And it makes Time Lord monsters you control untargetable with card effects. And your Time Lords don't shuffle themselves back to your deck during your standby phase. And if you don't control any monsters, you can special summon one Time Lord from your hand, deck, and graveyard with different names, ignoring their summoning conditions. So very good card if you get to that point. But anyway, this skill says, it sets an Empty Machine, and it also has another effect where it can be used during the next turn after one of your empty, infinite, and infinite lights are removed from the field by your opponent. So they have to destroy all 3 of them, so you can use this skill. And it says you can reveal a Cephalon to your opponent to send 10 Time Lords to your graveyard from outside your deck. Okay, this skill is good because it essentially gives you like targets for Infinite Machine. Yeah, it's good. It gives you a lot of targets for Empty Machine and Infinite Machine. So I'm guessing this is the skill that people are going to use for Time Lords. But yeah, I think this is it, the skill. But it depends on what other skills that Zone has. And keep in mind, these are leaks. It's not official. So yeah. What else we got here? Silent Time Lord. Not that good. It just makes your Time Lords not be able to activate their effects. Harsh Truth. Short and sweet, this is basically Draw Sense Time Lord. Okay, moving on. Okay, Infinite Power of the Time Lords. Again, not that great. Once per turn if you control Infinite Light. You get to play a Time Lord in your... You get to play a Time Lord to your field. And it's not once per duel, it's once per turn. I mean, it's decent, but this skill's much better. There's also a Time Lord Booster. Increase a Time Lord's attack by its level times 200. Given how most Time Lords are level 10s, that's a 2000 attack boost until the end of the turn, and your opponent takes no battle damage. Not that great, but it's kind of great for swinging into things. Getting rid of your opponent's monsters. Okay, no hope in the future, only despair. You get to shuffle your opponent's deck. Too situational, but I can see how it might be good in like Dark Magician decks, because they usually like to stack their deck with like Dark Magical Circle. You can also reveal Elazian to your opponent to return 3 random cards in your opponent's graveyard to your deck. Not great. Okay, moving on. We also have, a bond illuminates the future. You can change the battle position of set monsters. Interesting. So if they Book of Moon you, does that mean like I can use my skill to flip myself face up? Because if so, this skill is already looking pretty good. You can change the battle position of set monsters. That's... If Book of Moon starts like rising in usage, this skill might be good too. I'm guessing this is like a Yusei skill, because it says, send a Synchron monster or 1 level 2 Wind Warrior from your hand to the graveyard to add a Synchron from your deck to your hand and set Synchro Chase from outside your deck. Send monsters you control to the graveyard if the total attack of the monster sent to the graveyard is 2500 or more. Wait, set 2 random signer dragons with different names out of 4. Out of 4 from outside your deck. So is it like signer dragons? I'm not sure like which ones, because there's a lot of them. Because like for the signers, you have like, obviously there's Yusei, there's Akiza, there's Crow. I know there's Leo and Luna. Callan, I mean, Callan was never a signer, but he does have one of the signer dragons. Infernity Doom Dragon is one of them. I'm not sure what it means out of 4. But I guess we'll see. We'll see. Can be used turn 3 onward. Return a Stardust Dragon to your extra deck and change the level of all Synchro monsters you control to 2 and set Life Stream Dragon from outside your deck. I mean, okay, it's alright. And I think that's all of Zone's skills. Yeah. Okay, looking at it, I definitely think this is the skill you want to use. The one that I have highlighted here, Empty Infinite and Infinite Light. It's a really good skill for Time Lords, I can already tell. And we also have a couple of new skills. We have a Roaring Soul, which is a Jack Atlas skill. How I can tell is it talks about fiend types. Oh yeah, there it is. Resonator. Jack Atlas plays resonators in the anime, so this is most likely a Jack skill. Let's see what it does. You get to send a resonator, a 1 level 4 Dark Fiend to your graveyard from your deck, to add a level 4 Fire Fiend to your hand. You can't special summon during the duel except Synchro, Tuner, and special summons from the hand. So like no Link Disciple. Alright, once per duel, and one effect per turn. If you control a Red Dragon Archfiend, you return a Fiend type monster on your field and one in your hand to your deck, and set one Red Rain from your deck. What does this do? Red Rain. If you control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, banish all monsters on the field except the monsters with the highest level. Except the monster with the highest level. Also, the remaining face-up monsters on the field are unaffected by other card effects, except their own, until the end of the turn. If a Dark Dragon Synchro monster is Synchro summoned to your field, while this card is in your graveyard, you can return this card to your hand. Wow, that's good. That is good. Very good source of removal. I'm curious if this skill is gonna make resonators like come back in the meta, because the thing with resonators is that they just hard lose to Ibly. Like, it's not new. Like, Demon's Resonance already prevents them from like running anything else except Synchro monsters in their extra deck. So like no Link Disciple or anything, and the skill's nothing new. During this turn, defense position resonators can't be destroyed by card effects. So very good. Very good skill. It's like nothing special except Red Rain. So I'm curious if this skill is going to make resonators come back, because like they haven't been really doing anything in the meta lately. But anyway, moving on. There's also a United Pendulum. Alright, adds Pendulum Zone to your field once per duel. Select a Pendulum monster you control and place it in your Pendulum Zone. Then it selects a Pendulum monster in your deck with the same type, but with a different name, and negate both their effects. And you can only special summon from your extra deck once, except for Pendulum summons. So you can only special summon once out of your extra deck, so only one Synchro, or one extra deck play. If at least half the cards in your deck are Pendulum. I mean, it's alright, I guess. It's just like a generic Pendulum skill. And I think that's everything we're getting. There's also a Girog getting added to the banner. Yeah, getting added to the gate. So if you guys missed him, he is coming. That's good. There's some game mats and some sleeves for you guys if you want them. There's obviously the Zone card sleeves and game mats. Very cool, cool looking. I'll zoom in there for you guys. Jack Atlas, Mission Circuit, card sleeves and game mats. And this is the event card sleeves and the event game mats. I really like this one. Has a Paradox, Antinomy, what's his name? Aporia and Zone. And we have some icons. And if you guys aren't aware, there is a KC Cup coming in April, which is my birth month. So stay tuned. April the 5th, my birth month. And yeah, there's some comments down here. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the video. I'm excited to see if Time Lords, you know, become meta, if people start using it. Because I think the deck has potential, but we'll see. We'll see how the meta develops. Pretty interesting stuff so far. I'm curious to see what the mini box has to offer us. But already, empty, infinite, and infinite light skill is looking fire for Time Lords. I'm excited to play it. I'll be building the deck. I will try to have a stream with Time Lords. We'll try to King of Games with it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop a like, drop a sub if you're new. And yeah, join the Discord, follow on Twitch. Everything is down below in the description. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Good luck farming Zone if you're farming him. Peace.